happy Saturday here in Maryland. Keith, how'd you make out yesterday? We had a couple of prices yesterday.
Yeah, we did. We had a couple winners. Nothing to really get too excited about. A couple of good exacta boxes if you kind of played along. It's kind of my first play when I sent my picks out to some of my buddies. And, I said, first thing's just kind of box those four. We'll have a little value. We caught a couple little exactas that way and a couple winners. But all in all, a couple races, you had some pace meltdown. All in all, I thought the track, though, you had to be forward for the most part. But we had two instances, and both of them, the beneficiaries were the Linda Albert horses.
Yes.
Bonded and Tom Terrific, where things really kind of got hot and heavy, heated on the front end. And I wrote just a patient ride, got it done. So, we'll see. This racetrack this morning, they scraped a ton off of it. Interesting to see how it's played. It's played a little bit tricky to me, hard to figure out. Some horses spinning their wheels a little bit. I don't know if you've been out on anything in the morning, but
I haven't.
But to relate, but it's been a little bit tough to gauge.
It either gets, but from what I've noticed talking to some of the riders that are out there in the morning as I took the winter off, it either gets a bit powdery, which this is very typical of winter track. So it's either a bit, and it gets a bit tricky, and it makes the game a little bit more fun. So it's either get a little bit powdery or a little bit moisture and cuppy, and it holds together really nice. So that's maybe what they did because we haven't had any precipitation lately. So that's maybe why they scraped off a little bit of it. The track to make it a little bit more fair, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we got through yesterday, so thanks to everybody involved, all the horsemen, trainers, grooms, jockeys, everybody, gate crew. It's not easy dealing with the elements. You had the wind yesterday; things have died down a little bit. Still chilly. We'll get through today, but thanks for everybody for making that card go yesterday afternoon. So what do we got today? Got cream of crab, South Karen. I'm still looking for the chili, but cream of crab and chicken noodle soup on a cold day here at Laurel Park.
Soup update from Keith Fusel as we just pay attention quickly and give a nod to the early pick 5 that starts before we take a look at this track really quick that we just talked about, and let's see if we can get a look at that.
Yeah,
there we go.
There you go.
And as you said, Keith, they did scrape off a little bit there. We've still got the cold weathers. The wind is a little bit, but it's definitely not going to be as harsh as yesterday. So knock on wood, fingers crossed, all that jazz. And let's get to it in race number 1 in this claiming 10,000, which have never won 3 going 7 furlongs on the dirt for the 4-year-old fillies and mares. Keith, you and I both land on your best bet of the day. The number 8, Cause to Dream, Bob Caceres, Horacio Caramanos.
You landed on the old 8 horse, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Huh, okay.
Yeah.
Cause a Dream. I just like the direction she's going right now. This 5-year-old worked out a really good trip in a big field. Not as much clutter to deal with today. Positional speed, looking at the race, there's not a lot of true speed. That's why I'm going to throw the 7 Icy Reply as a little shot to go ahead and send. Kind of like Tamchar yesterday. She's been in some races where she couldn't really kind of be impactful.
How about your Tamchar coming back into form yesterday?
But Icy Reply, I do think, has a shot on front. But Cause a Dream, going back. She's good at this distance, some of her better races. I think she just kind of takes up shop just off the 7 and kind of gets it done, makes it 2 in a row here for Caceres and Caramanos, kind of heating back up that barn.
There we go, and let's talk. Just prepare for takeoff. I had this horse on and off of my ticket, so I just want to hear your statement of giving the nod to the rail horse here for Jonathan Maldonado.
This is a horse that's kind of jumped up out of nowhere in the past, right, and has run big races. So has the ability to kind of get into, I think, a stalking spot somewhere mid-turn, especially with Barbosa. That's it, little change of rider here. Let's just see if things shake it up and prepare for takeoff can make that run into it. Offers a little value, 6-1 on the morning line. Might come down a touch off of that. That's kind of the way I see it. I mean, if then for Hammy, closing in, doesn't have a lot of speed. We saw that Hammy horse yesterday, Dotada, who barely showed any kind of foot. A little different Dotada yesterday, right to the front and got it done, nursed on the lead. But I'll key around the 8 horse in here, Cause to Dream. Yep.
Shaking it up with the rest in the 7, 1, and 5 after Cause to Dream is Keith Fusel's top selections there in the first race. Race number 2 starts the early pick 4. And, of course, you've got a ticket for us as per usual. How do you play it? Ooh, no single today.
No single, $18 ticket. Scratch the 3C out. It was probably going to be a use in race 2. You really can't trust anybody in there, can you? But I'll go 1 and 5. Race 3 with the 3 and the 5. Another, I thought, a tough race. Scratch the 7, fought from out of there. Race 4, 3 deep with the 1, 5, and 6. Dolce Kira, definitely sharp last time. Let's see how she goes up and stretching it out today. Race 5, 3 deep again with the 3, the 5, and the 8. Unfortunately, a couple scratches in there, 2, 6, and 7. Go Oxide off a big win last time. New Barn, okay. Clubman and For the Love of Country looks like the one to catch. $18 for that early pick 4.
There you go. Get things started off your day with Keith Fustel's ticket, and let's go and start this ticket up in the second race in the maiden 12-5. As you mentioned, scratch the number 3 C out going this 1 mile and an 8th distance for 4 and 5-year-olds, and you land on the number 6, or you land on the number 5. I'm sitting here looking at my own picks.
Okay.
Wired in, you go with Mary Epler, who I have underneath for J-Ron Barbosa. Again, this one is going in the right direction. I even like the distance better for this one this time.
Yeah, just trying to maybe look for that horse that's got the lead at the quarter pole. They've got to go a mile and an eighth here, and you got a lot of horses just look like they just don't want to go that far. Right. So Eddie Gourmet, a little bit of sprint lean there, but we're going second time route of ground. We're going to carry it out to 2 turns today with Barbosa. The situation of being aggressive into it. Secret Sanctuary's had plenty of chances, aiming, not following through. I think if anybody's going to improve, maybe I'm Not a Baby from the rail.
Okay.
Second time blinkers. Gets that outer post back to an inside post today, just kind of trudging along. I think it's going to be a trudge the last quarter of a mile here. That might be the one that just kind of stays the trip. Battle of attrition. 5-1, 6-2 on to the third. That's all I got for the second.
On to the third in this claiming 25, which have never won 2, going a mile and 16th on the dirt for the 4-year-olds and up. You and I both land on Aristocat, the number 5 for Anthony Ferrier on Lado Boca Chica. Took a forward approach last time. That race was unofficial last time out. So what happened was the tractors had a bit of a tractor issue, but obviously that's all squared up and set away. We're coming back at it again here today. Going to be taking the similar type of approach with Boca Chica.
Yeah, it was second choice at 3-1, I believe, that day behind Ferris Triumph when they left. What I liked is the 2 moves that Aristocat showed prior to the situation. Was up, rated back off the speed, another move into it, went clear, and appeared to look like a winner top of the stretch. So, hey, I think he can come back and get this field. He's going to have to work for it, though. There's some speed in there to kind of keep him honest and keep him honest a long time. The horse from the rail off the claim, Pudge Boy Palace, and Star Shopping. Star Shopping, I think, is going to be a go stretching out. So he's going to have to be nursed beautifully, conserve as much, and make that pop move, maybe leaving the 3/8. The horse that might benefit from this flow, the 3, Mailman's a Flyer. You know, he's 1 for 22, but appears to be in a little bit better form right now. Things just might fall into his lap.
And I think coming back down here to Laurel might help him out a little bit with things. And I do like J.D. Acosta getting the Mailman's a Flyer. He's going to get this horse into a position of getting this horse engaged. I am very, very surprised that this horse is able to come off of the pace last time out at Penn National. So I do agree with you as you go. 5-3, 6-1 there in the third. Race number 4 starts the Rainbow Pick 6. Of course, I have a ticket lined up for you. I do end up finding a single in this carryover pool that we have of 3,382. Of course, that's going to pick up by the time we get to the 4th race, but taking a look at my ticket, my single is all the way in race number 8 in the number 3. That is Princess Kokachin coming back off of a bit of a that was a wreck. She did get a little not a little cut, but she had a cut on her leg. Perez pulled her up. She's good. She's ready to go. She did a gate work back on January 22nd. So she's coming back into 2023, and I think she's going to be swinging, absolutely swinging. So Princess Kokachin back in fashion. I go 3 wide on the nightcap.
Okay.
And then I'm going to circle back up to race number 4. I go 2 deep in race number 4 and 5, and then in race number 6, I go 3 deep there. I go with the 5, the 7, and the 8. I think excuse me, your pick 4 ends in race number 5. Yeah, so 5, 7, 8. We have a video coming up on the number 5 Shafts Bullet, who's your top selection. I go with Gulfstream just because it's not kind of an obvious go for. And Most Perfect for Trombetta is just a horse that keeps going on the up and up, but comes against a field that could do a little bit of damage. Race number 7 was a bit of a head scratcher for me, just with a couple of these coming off of these short, quick turnarounds. There's a lot going on in that race. So I go 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, a $36 ticket to start off in the to total in the Rainbow Pick 6, and that starts in race number 4 in this starter optional, claiming 12.5,
Yeah.
going the mile and 16th for the 4-year-old girls, 4 years old and up. You and I both land on Dulce Kiera. This is my price play of the day, and we've got a video of Dulce Kiera back in from January 6th, looking at the start, and then we're going to cut to the quarter pole later.
Yeah, she's been an interesting mare. It's kind of tough to figure. Sometimes she shows a little speed. Sometimes she's a little further back. But she was really sharp. I thought this particular afternoon claimed off Fair Sound 2 races back for 8. Kieran immediately drops, gets the condition, plays the conditions like you're supposed to as a trainer, as a claiming trainer. And, man, just zipped up in there, no issues whatsoever under a little encouragement and just kind of widened and geared down late. It's, now the protect move comes. So maybe they've kind of got something figured out. Something's clicking right with Dulce Kiera. I like this move, some confidence here. I think showing that kind of turn of foot early, I think she can get to the front. Maybe a lineup race for me because our tenderoni off the claim should be very dangerous. She doesn't necessarily need to lead. She's done some good work from just off of it. Even ran well against the boys a few races back. So I think if things don't get too crazy, these two can kind of walk around the racetrack together.
Yeah.
We'll see. 5-1-1-5, a little Jack Harmon special in race number 4. I think if anybody's going to kind of wake up and improve a little bit, it would be the 6. Off the break. Doesn't have to bump much more. Has a tougher field. I mean, January 1st, the speed was good, was off the pace, and just never got clicking. Today might be a little different story.
5167 for Keith Fusel. The start of the Rainbow Pick 6, race number 5 is another starter optional, 12.5, 8.5 on the dirt for the 4-year-olds and up. Scratch the 2, Mr. Thrifty, scratch the 6, Bobby G, and scratch the 7, Speak Unity. Keith, you land on the number 8, which is a horse I am a bit fan of. For Love of Country for Lacey Gaudette. Blinkers on. Back with the blinkers on for Johan Rosado, with Johan Rosado, of course, this time.
Yeah, interesting move here with the blinkers. Does he really need it? I don't know. I guess maybe they're just trying to change things up. He looks like now, this with a couple scratches, moves in a little bit. Maybe only Ace 9-9 can go with him early. I'm a little suspect of the move here for 12.5 because he's shown to be a little bit better horse. So, to me, he's all or nothing. I'll take a shot. He can get to the front and control it today because he ran some really bang-up races. Was just chewed up in that pace last time down inside. A pretty good pace on a slower racetrack. They went pretty strong internal. So, I'll give him maybe a little bit of a pass here. I am concerned about the drop.
Very well, very well. He got the warning from Keith. Let's talk about your 3 Oxide.
Yeah.
Interesting. We're talking about a horse that's coming down, and now we're talking about a horse that's bumping up.
Yeah.
And we're taking a look at that right now.
Yeah, and this is Lacey versus ex-Lacey, right?
Yes,
Oxide.
yes.
And she did a phenomenal job with this horse off the break, and he just slowly kind of got it figured out. He encountered some trouble a couple races back, handled that, and just got better and better and better, and all culminated with this effort.
Yes.
Right, Cal? This was big. Now, granted, this is not the same kind of field, but it was a big, gaudy field. He was able to get position, just cruised up to get the lead, and he got hammered down like nobody's business. I thought he could be the favorite, but not at $1.20 to 1, and he proved it. I mean, he was just dead razor sharp. Winning in here, you saw the move in hand, ridden out to the wire. Again, I think he'll, within this field, be able to get a stalking trip, maybe third, behind Ace 9-9 for Love of Country, and see if he can maintain form for the new connections. That's always a concern.
Right, and which is why we're getting a bit of the quick turn back with him. And
Yep.
what kind of breaks my heart about this horse is that Gaudette keeps claiming this horse back. She takes the time, spends the time, gets this horse into a nice rhythm, a nice go, and then the horse gets claimed from her. And this has happened to Lacey before in the past with this horse. So David Howard, it's a smart move, and it's an ode to Lacey to be running this horse quick off of the claim, just because this horse is Lacey's done such a nice job getting this horse in good form. And let's talk about the 5.
Oh yeah, go Clubman.
Yeah, Clubman. This is I go with this one as my best bet of the day. I feel like you can't. This is a hard one to go against, but so I like your little bit of prices that you have picked just in difference of that. But this one, what I like about this one is that able to come off of the pace, there's a really nice gauge there of being he's not a strict come off of the pace. He can get a touch closer up there, just a tick off of the pace, and that could be a sweet spot, which could really work out for his style today with the way the track potentially could be playing.
Yeah, I mean, he'll draft back, I think, 5, 6, 7 lengths off of this early flow. I just don't think he's quite as quick as a couple of these, but he looks like the dependable closer. He's got that style, that grind. Oxide, we're kind of worried about off the claim, but he's been just money right now of late. And Ness has done a great job of working the condition, playing the condition games with this horse, 10,000 condition, then to the starter, then up to the 16. Just playing it perfectly. So at 9, he's holding form. He should certainly bring a run. The only knock I got, he had an absolutely perfect setup on the 18th of December over this racetrack. That was the kicker. They went quick early. It was contested, and he made the move. He may not have things as easy, but he just may just have to run his race. He just kind of does his own thing out there,
and maybe
it might
he
be good
just
enough.
had a bad day the other time. On the 18th. So
no, he had a perfect trip. No, he won it. He had a great trip.
Just
he got a good
because you
setup.
have a great trip doesn't mean you always need to run on that day. But race number 6 is an allowance optional claiming 40, a mile and 16th on the dirt for the 4-year-old. An up scratch to the 3 Secret Alliance and the number 6 Crocelli. That leaves you, Keith, with the number 5 Shaft's Bullet. We've got a video on Shaft's Bullet back from January 6th, and we're taking a look at the mid-turn to the wire when he's making his move.
Yeah, this was a good effort off a long time from February, almost. I mean, you're talking close to a year, right? And Gary Capp, we thought he may need one, but it was a horse that was projected to improve off of that really good debut. And man, to sustain like this, I thought was good. Now this is a little tougher group today, no doubt about it. But to be able to do this, to sit 5 wide, sustain when put to a ride, literally leaving the far turn at the 1-turn mile and just keeps on going. I think that speaks volumes about this horse, just the talent that he looks to have.
Right.
So coming back, it's a good, highly competitive group here, but I just think he drafts into the perfect spot ad nauseum. We say it. Gary Capp, second off a break, second time out. I'm going to trust in that. The proof's in the pudding there, and I think this horse can move up even a little bit off of that race to beat this field because he's going to have to.
He's going to have to, which is why I just kind of put a safe bet in Gulfstream Wave. Brad Cox Shippen winning that allowance at Aqueduct. Why not? Was a vet scratch on the 19th of January at Aqueduct up there on the 19th of January up at Aqueduct. Vet scratch, but coming back to Shaft's Bullet, you mentioned the second after the layoff. Gary Capp is 6 for 22 as of lately, 27% with that, 13 for 22 in the money to add everything up together with that. So again, it's hard to go against Shaft's Bullet, but I just in case Brad just makes it a little bit too tough for this one, as Shaft's Bullet is coming up and stepping up in class a little bit.
Yeah, it's 7 horse. I mean, he likes to battle on the front end, no doubt about it. You talked about the vet scratch. That doesn't terribly concern me.
No,
but he comes.
It was a muddy track that day.
Yeah, so he comes back here. Maybe he's a horse that's going to stay around here, with Brittany. Right.
That's
for the connections. And he went quick last time out. Now he went. The final time was a little slower than the split of that race at Aqueduct, going the 1-turn mile. But man, went much faster early. Took a lot of heat and just dug in to get it done. Now, moving up a condition, I think there are some other horses. There are some other horses in here that are going to force the issue. I think he can maybe sit just off of it if need be, though, as well. My concern, that last 16th, because a couple of these horses aren't just going to immediately give up, leaving the 5/16 to the quarter. So I think he's going to have to earn it, no doubt about it. The 8 has been really good since the blinkers have gone on. He's just turned into a different horse here for Country Life in Mike Trombetta. You put him in position. You see the comment last time, doggedly. I love that. We put that in there. You can see how determined this horse has been. He stays focused. He keeps grinding, and he'll do the same. A horse that draws in, you've got this horse in here as well, Sage for Ness. He's capable. He laid a little close last time. He is effective from deeper. In the racetrack. I think he's going to get that kind of trip today. We'll see if he can pop it in. He might sneak away at an okay price in here.
We'll see if he does sneak away, and we're going to sneak away right now for a quick commercial break and be back to talk about the rest of Saturday's card.
Introducing the first racing tool from Pegasus to Preakness. Iconic venues.
Life is good, and I'd rather Ortiz Jr. and ran them off their feet than the Pegasus.
World-class racing. Millions at stake.
Run forward, win the Preakness.
New champions will be crowned. Only at First.
Welcome back to race at number 7. This allowance optional claiming 55, going 5.5 on the dirt for the 4-year-olds and up. And Keith, you've got the number 7 on top. John the Bear, this one is now in the barn of Claudio Gonzalez, gets JV in Toledo yet again, coming off of a nice win at a similar level, not so similar distance, but especially just going to the lead, I don't see the 5.5 being an issue for this guy.
No, this is a tough race. I mean, I could see a number of horses just jumping up and running big, including Wartox, and so there will be nobody probably I toss when I key a horse in the exact, unfortunately, so I'm hoping I can kind of get a hold of a little bit of a price. It might be tough, or maybe I just go on and try to make a win bet. But John the Bear, he's been a different horse. Laid off from late March to November. He's come back. The numbers just have escalated tremendously. He's turning back in distance. He looks to me like the horse I can trust. Yes, he likes to drift out and go to the hot dog stand, but he holds firm through that.
He's looking for chili, too.
Yeah, 2 races back, he made a move into a really quick pace just to get run down after going clear. So I think just recent form, the way he is, I can kind of depend on a couple of these other horses or guesses that might have a little more sheer talent and back class.
Right.
John the Bear there, but Gagetown, we've got a video, right, of his race. Is it 2 races back that we go to?
I believe the 7th. Back in the late on the 7th. Yep, 2 back, leaving the 5-ace pole to the mid-stretch.
Yeah, and gotten a little bit of a jackpot in this race. Just a bit close in between at the 3.5. Did Gagetown the 3-horse. We're going to lead into the turn and. You know, all in all, getting that battle up front, but tries to go through a little bit of a seam, but just loses a little bit of momentum there. Just couldn't quite squeeze through when he wanted to. And not saying that took a ton, but it might have been enough, or, maybe about a half length or so. But this guy going to go third off the claim. He went back up to New York after this race, though, and made another good move against some good horses, and just couldn't quite get it done. Goes up. Now, he's jumping back to a 3 other. I think that race last time is very comparable, right? Maybe even a little bit better than what he's going to face today. So, seeing they might have him figured out, Cal, he's the one with the flow that's going to be in here. I don't think he has to try to move as soon as he did either, as he did in that particular race at Laurel.
Yeah, I agree. The only I do love everything about this horse. I just, again, to me, I want a little bit of a longer stretch in between. You notice when you give this horse a little bit of a break, he does tend to return. But really, ever since coming back from that break from, mid-October to early December and then on, like what I'm seeing here, to me, it's just a little bit short, but for Cash, it's a bit long because he likes to turn around even quicker. But that's my only knock against that horse. And then what you brought up, maybe just asked a bit early in those races 2 back here at Laurel Park.
Yeah, tried to get in there and didn't want anything to get away from him here. I think let these horses maybe get away a little bit because going to lead, I think, is going to try to go help his buddy out. And, he went pretty quick. 23, not a demanding quarter, but I think he's got a little bit more in the tank. Wartoxin might have to go. We see this Noble Gaston. What's he going to do? Can he keep improving, get back to a fast track today? So flow should be good. Gagetown to run into it. John the Bear certainly going to be forward. Dreams Untold, maybe the most talented horse in the group when he puts it all together. Pennington in for the ride, so that should speak a little bit of volumes for that one. So yeah, and the 5. So this might be a race though, Cal. When you're looking at it, say okay, you're going to get a lot of horses between 5-2 and 9-2. That stranger is Whiskey and You. Experience over this racetrack, a couple of races at work. He can rally into it. So maybe from if I'm down a little bit and I gotta take a little shot and go take a little Whiskey and You and key top and bottom.
There you go. A lot of shots here in that 7th race. Race number 8 is the allowance optional claiming 55 for the 4 years old and up. Fillies and mares going 5.5 here on the dirt. Let's take a look at your top selection. Response time back from, again, early January 7th, of going from that mid-turn to the wire, just kind of getting into that situation.
Yeah, this horse is in about as good a form as she possibly can. A little stumble last time, but it didn't affect her terrible. She regrouped very quickly. She got into this battle, though, with the Rob horse to the inside, Whiskey and Rye. She got the better of that one, but she didn't win the war. That was it. So she ran really, really big. Prodigy Jal is going to be the beneficiary, just saving every bit of ground on the turn, swinging out, and getting it done. I guess recency for response time, Callie, that's the key for her. She has a little edge maybe over Princess Coca-Chen and Street Loot. and the form she's holding, this is a horse race. Shorter field, this is a good race. We've got some highly competitive races. Good job by the racing office today,
Right.
Especially later in this card, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are tough races to get through. Just a slight edge here to response time. And something's got to give for the Jerry Robb runners. They're both perfect at 5.5. One of them's going to have to kind of taste defeat unless they dead heat, I guess, for first time going 5.5.
Well,
but both of these horses come in here. I
Right.
think they'll be geared up and ready to rock and roll. You gave us a little angle on Princess Kokachin.
Yeah, so Princess Kokachin had a slight injury coming out of that race last time out in October. She was vanned off for a reason, but from all reports that I've gotten, this filly is ready to. And in the work tab shows, giving her a 6 furlong gate workout.
Yep.
If he's not. He's not going to do this, especially with a filly like this. It's not ready to go. So if she's ready to go, we're going to be seeing that form that we saw back, of course, in March, February. So bring it on, Princess Kokachin.
Yeah.
I think she's going to be ready to just attack this field.
If she's good, and I mean, she's kind of back to close to where she was, and response time wants to go. She is capable of sitting, and we've seen her move just off the pace. You know, she may later go angle out and get comfortable, and then go make the attack move and go from there. But you're right, I saw that. That was a good. The 3/4 kind of a wake up. We don't want her short. She's feeling good. Let's just get that last little bottom into her, so she's ready to rock and roll today. And the X-Man goes here. Do you put any credence into that?
Yes.
Obviously, you know he's the main rider there.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, let's see how things shake up for that. There's just a lot.
It's street loot. You can't leave.
You can't leave street loot out. I think she's gonna need. I definitely think she's gonna need a race, and this is the race I think she's gonna need getting back into. Because I haven't seen. Usually, even with these seasoned campaigners, and they're coming off of a layoff, Jerry will work these out of the gate. She doesn't have one of those.
Okay.
So that's why I'm just like, and of course, Perez is an honor, so she is a bit preferable over a bit of these longer distances as well. So maybe just, listen, I'm fine with being surprised, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Street Loot fan, but I'm just giving her the cautious of me perhaps she needs a race today.
Yeah, and Fraudulent Charge, a good horse. Yeah,
yep.
good horse race in race 8. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, she gets the outside post, gets a lot. So there's a lot going on in races 7 and 8. But let's go ahead to race number 9 in our nightcap. This maiden claiming 12.5, going 5.5 on the dirt for the fillies again. But this time just the 3-year-olds. Keith, you go with the number 3, Calm and Collected. For Mike Trombetti, gets the blinkers on, but keeps Johan Rosado over the same distance.
I thought this was a good angle back in the day. His first blinkers, second career start for him. I looked at it recently. It hasn't been that great. But just taking a shot. I like my comment there. Drafted back early. So we'll just say, okay, the jock stays when you're beaten by 20. That's an angle for me that I like. They'll give her another shot. She's out of a mare that won her first 3 races. And the siblings all ran well early. So little drop here. Well, big drop.
Yeah.
See if that's the wake-up call with the blinkers on today. I thought Waverly ran well. Second Lasix to be able to sit. Some questionable speed types in here. I think she's got the right kind of rider to sit and make the move into it. There you go, 3-7-4-5 in the nightcap.
I go 4-2-7-5 in the nightcap. Keith, let's dig into lightning round.
Okay.
And let's go ahead and just start talking about your best bet of the day. You've got you bookend. You start your best bet with the first race in number 8, Cost a Dream.
Let's see if we can take it right off the bat. Maybe build the bankroll a little bit to take you further into this race.
Sure.
Card Calls a Dream. I just like the form she's in right now.
Yep.
Talked about that big field last time, and she was able to kind of work out a trip. I think she stalks and moves into it. 7-8 shouldn't be an issue for her. And the last Calm and Collected we talked about, 8-1 morning line. The line looked so bad last time. She didn't draw a ton of play in debut. Trombeys usually don't, but I like this one second time out with the blinkers on angle. Kind of an all or nothing type, though. If she runs, I think she's going to be right there.
Buyer's remorse for me for not having this one underneath in my pick, so make sure you do, because if I miss it, it might hit. But let's go ahead and talk about, it's cold, but let's talk about what's going on in the spring. When it's a bit warmer, we've got the feature stakes. We've got 15 stakes worth $3.5 million. Just taking a look at Preakness, and I just picked, when I picked up, I actually picked up a photo that I really like, which is this next one. Churchill has the towers, but Preakness has the infield tents, and it's something that I really, really think is so special about Preakness. But we've got 1.5 million for the Preakness for the 3-year-olds. That's of course a mile and 3/16. But other graded stakes on the undercard are the dinner party, the Grade 3 dinner party, the Chick Lang, the Maryland Sprint, the Gallarette, $400,000 races round out the Preakness Day Stakes, the Sir Barton, the Skip It, the Jimmy Cave Turf Sprint, of course, and the James W. Murphy for the 3-year-olds on the grass. The Black Eyed Susan is of course, also including the Pimlico Special, the Miss Preakness, just rounding everything out. The Very One, and the Allaire DuPont, of course, and the 1 Mile Hilltop for the 3-year-old fillies on the turf.
Mm-hmm. It'll be here before you know it.
It will be.
We got to get tied on. But,
yeah.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. Some more weather, and that's always a good weekend. Enjoy it.
And
it's a challenge, but it's fun.
It's worth it. It's so fun. We have it. Preakness is the party and that middle jewel of the Triple Crown. So be sure to get your eyes out and try and get some tickets as early as possible because the races are ready. And the horses are going to be ready and everybody's going to be ready before you know it. And I'm pretty sure Dave Rodman is ready for us for some changes and scratches to talk about the Saturday's racing.
Send it up to the Rod Dog.
I did.
Go on with it, Rod Dog. Give us those scratches and changes. Remember, cream of crab, chicken noodle, warm up today. Go down to see Karen the Pizza Lady and take care of your bartenders. That's it.